everybody.
Hey gang, how you doing?
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday from North Carolina.
Yeah, from North Carolina. I got the day right today.
That's right.
So that was awesome.
Yeah.
Let me tag everybody. Hope you guys had a wonderful day.
I want to say hi to a few people on here. Hi Morgan. Hi Brittany. Hi Mom. Hi Mom. Hi Mom. Hi
Mike.
Hiya.
That's funny. Aunt Janet.
Aunt Janet.
Paula. Hannah.
Yeah.
I think you got all the moms.
Mike.
Tommy. I almost forgot.
What's up?
And I think that's everybody.
Okay.
We may have forgot somebody.
We did. We're saving for later.
Who? Brittany. We said Brittany. I think we said Brittany.
We did. I'll say it again though. Hi,
Brittany. All right. Hi, Mom. Thanks for joining us. All right, you guys. Well, we hope you had a great day. This was a really cool chapter today. I keep saying that, but it was. I really enjoyed it.
I've never really read through Matthew seriously because I don't know why. I just always had this block about it. Like John and Luke, I'd read.
Right.
But Matthew always kind of like, I know I'm gonna hear something I'm in trouble for, because I just know I'm gonna be in trouble. But I've actually enjoyed it a lot.
I really have too. And today I put on our family page a thing from R.C. Sproul. It was an amazing talk, and the cool thing about his talks are like less than 30 minutes, so they're not really big. But it was a really, really great talk on this chapter. So if you get a chance, it's not the whole chapter, so he only takes verses. It's really good.
I tried to listen to it at work, but people kept bothering me to help them at
How
work.
rude.
I'm like, look, I'm helping in the wheelchair. You don't need to talk to me. You know what I'm saying? No niceties here. I'm only here to get you to where you're going.
That's funny.
You know?
And I had, we have to flex one day a week because of the virus. So today was my day off to flex. So I was organizing, so I got to listen to stuff while I was doing that. So it was really cool.
That's pretty cool.
I love it.
Yeah. So,
all right, guys. So jumping right in.
All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
I will mention, it's funny because it starts off with who is the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
So, the disciples were a while back, were like in another book too, but they were like, who gets this, who gets to be with Jesus, and who gets to sit at his right hand, and who gets to do this and this and this. And Jesus was like, you guys are acting like little babies. Don't act like that. Mm-hmm. But now they're doing the same thing because they're saying, who's the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? They're wanting to know, like, hey, where will I be? How do I fit in? And how blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's a human nature thing.
Well, it is. I mean, no matter which, somebody's always trying for power.
Yes.
There's always, and there always is a leader.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to be part of Jesus' kingdom. And remember, the disciples are still thinking that about Jesus' kingdom on earth.
Yes. That's true.
So a lot of times they're wanting to be, and who wouldn't want to be next to Jesus?
That's true. And another just oversight of this first little section about who is the greatest, when he brings the child and he says, you guys all heard this story, but, be like this child. If the kingdom is great, but if you're not like this child, then you're not going to get in there, and anyone who causes them to sin, that kind of thing. Well, excuse me. What was neat in my talks I heard today, it was saying that they're not saying that we have to act like a child and we don't have to act like a little kid. What it's saying is that you have to be like childlike faith, in the sense that you don't go to heaven when you get to heaven and say, well, I've done this, this, and this, and I've done this, this, and this, so I deserve to be in heaven. Mm-hmm. You should be like a child who needs his parents, and like a little child can't do anything for himself. He has no skills, no abilities, nothing, and he needs his parents. So
like depends on him.
Yes, and we need God. And so that child has no credit to his name to be able to say, I'm worthy of anything. That's right. And so that's what he's saying, is we have to be like a child of faith, in the sense that we don't have anything, because even our skills, that comes from God. Yeah. We're not giving God anything that he didn't already give us. But I think you talked about that.
Like this morning we're reading it was First Chronicles chapter 29. But anyway, David in there is talking about, he's saying, God, who are we to offer you all the things we're offering you, or who are we to take pride in? I'm totally paraphrasing it, but in the end, David says, who are we to offer you all this stuff so readily when you're the one who gave it to us first?
Yeah.
I mean, we're only offering you what you've already given us first. So whether it's our skills or our brains or whatever, yeah.
But I thought it was cool, because that was a good analogy of the child. It's not saying to be like, it put it in perspective for me.
I like it.
So I thought that was cool.
Cool. All right.
Well, I do have a note on 7.
And I have one on 8.
Oh, cool. That's funny. I love it. So my note on 7 is, it is expected that those in the world will cause Christians to be offended, stumble, and sin, and they will be judged for it. But it should not be that fellow believers lead others into sin, directly or indirectly. One would be better off dead. So we already know there's evil in the world. We already know there's going to be bad things that happen. But we as Christians shouldn't cause other Christians harm or to cause evil or anything like that. That's what he's saying. I thought that was nice.
I mean, we are a family. We're supposed to be lifting each other up.
Exactly.
So I have one on verse 8. And it says, the verse itself talks about if your hand or your foot causes you to sin, to cut it off.
Yes.
And it sounded pretty hard there. Cut your hand off, or I think the next verse is cut something else off.
Your eye and all that.
Yeah. And let's see. I was looking at Augustine, and he talks about rules of interpretation and interpreting the scriptures. And he puts it really simply. He says, if a sentence, like if there's a command, and it has like it's forbidding a crime or a vice. In other words, if it's forbidding
Mom, are you going to sit there? I was just saying we can hear ourselves.
Hi.
We have an echo.
I was wondering where it's coming from.
Sorry, Mom. Mom is sweet. She's joining us, but she's in the other room, so we can, because there's a 4-minute delay on when you guys hear us, so we're hearing ourselves twice.
Yeah, it's enough to hear us once.
Thanks, Mom.
So, anyway, Augustine says if it's a sentence or a command, you know what? I need my glasses. Is the problem? There it is. Oh, if it's a sentence or a command, either forbidding a crime or a vice, or enjoining an act of caution or kindness, it's not figurative. In other words, if when God's saying to love one another and stuff like that, that's not figurative. And when He's teaching us, commands on how to love and live with each other, that's not a figurative speech. But however, if it seems to be enjoined with a crime or a vice, or to forbid an act of prudence or benevolence, it's figurative. And what that's saying is that when it comes to it says when somebody's angry with you and you be nice to them, it's like throwing hot coals on their head.
Right.
Well, it's not really throwing hot coals on their head.
Although sometimes you might want to.
Yeah. And then so in this thing here, it's not saying really, like Augustine was explaining, it's not really saying that you cut off a hand or an eye, because people have actually done that. I'm not kidding you. I've read in the news before that people have read the Word of God and done stuff like this. And of course, they're a little wacko, but that happens. But the whole point of this was just saying, if you have, say, in Augustine's words was, if you have somebody in your life that's causing you to sin, or something in your life that causes you to sin, then that's what you need to get rid of, to keep yourself,
That's good. So just to recap what you're saying, because it was really important. Yeah. The good parts is talking about if it's constructive and loving and productive, that is literal. Right. But when it's like mutilating and stuff, that's figuratively.
Right. And he uses in his letters, he uses a bunch of different examples of that. And so basically, if it's something nasty, you're not supposed to be doing, it's usually figurative.
Gotcha. I was gonna say you need to take a screenshot next time and maybe tomorrow, because Rick reads from the Church Fathers, and the Church Fathers are the ones that everybody uses. And it doesn't matter what religion you are, the Church Fathers are the Church Fathers. Like St. Augustine is all the Church Fathers and all the other Church Father guys. Mm-hmm. But so anyways, he reads from over them, and I think there's what'd you say, over 50 or something?
Well, no, there's hundreds of them, because of all the way from beginning to now.
Gotcha. But anyway, so he has he looks at all that stuff. So when he does, when I say stuff, I'm just looking at John MacArthur and R.C. Sproul. But when he says something, he's looking at all those people. Mm-hmm. So it's really cool and solid. So if you guys do have questions about something, ask us, because I won't know, but he does.
Well, and I don't always know, but I know where to find it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So yeah, because and the Church Fathers can seem intimidating, and the reason why is because they're written out, like the old stuff's written out, so archaic. Mm-hmm. But now people are going back and putting them in modern English and modern whatever language, and they should. We don't talk like that anymore, so just bring us to speed now. And anyway, okay.
Okay, so I had a note on 21. You have anything before that?
I don't know. I can't remember what I did today. I was supposed to be working. 21, let's see. Oh, yes. Verse 15, it's real short. It's talking about if your brother sins against you, go and talk to him.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to his fault between your brothers and sisters. And again, I got something from Augustine. It's real short here. And Augustine says, our Lord warns us not to fail to look after one another's sins, but not by searching out to find fault with them. we're not to search out people and try to find out their sins.
Darn.
Yeah. He said, but by looking out for what to amend. In other words, how can I help somebody who's falling in sin? We're supposed to approach it in love, and the Scripture even talks about not taking somebody's sin and throwing it out in front of other people. We're not supposed to gossip and talk about other people's failings. We're supposed to look for a way to help them, and so that's pretty cool.
That's good. I will say R.C. Sproul had a nice talk on that too. He was saying, just like little things, that are like, hey, you owe me $5, or hey, you parked too close to the handicap thing, or little things. That's not what this is talking about. This is talking about like big church sins, like adultery, if all that kind of stuff, but big stuff. Not talking about little mediocre stuff. And like what you said, don't go looking for something. It's when something bad, a big thing happens.
And the point is really just for our fellowship with God, because, okay, God is your Father. I mean, once Christ is your Lord and that's it, God's your Father. And He's always going to be your Father. But the relationship itself, we have to always work on that. He loves us. He gives us his all. We need to try to do that, but we're going to fail. It's just a relationship thing. We want to have a good relationship with God. So.
I like that. Okay, I had 21. You got anything before that?
I don't.
Okay. So 21, this is when Peter came up and said, Lord, how often will my brother sin against me? Will I have to forgive him as many as 7 times? And we've all heard that, and they're like, no, 70 times 7. Well, I didn't know that 7 means something. I mean, 7 means something. But, so, Peter thought he was being magnanimous. He thought he was being cool. Because the rabbis, they would cite verses from Amos, and they taught that since God forgave Israel's enemies only 3 times, that was the magic number. Like once you only had to forgive somebody 3 times, and that's what the rabbis did, and that came from the law, or the old, not the law, but the old stuff.
Really?
And so Peter's saying, oh, so we only have to forgive people 7 times? Because 3 was the max. Now he's like, oh, let me go ahead and double it and add 1. So he's like, oh, it's 7 times. So he was being presumptuous and unnecessary to forgive anyone more than that time, the 3 times. So then Jesus is like, no, 70 times 7. And that mainly just means a bazillion.
That's pretty, and that's like it's infinite. And I got a note on that too, really. And actually the next verse. But it says, I did not say 70 times, but 70 times 7. And then, let's see. Oh, and of course, Augustine. I had an Augustine day. I was looking through Basil and everything else too, but he had some fun stuff. Now, this is really his opinion more than anything else. So. But I thought it was neat how he said that. When Jesus was talking about the 70 times 7, Augustine says he's using Luke's genealogy where Christ was begotten by this and blah, 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 all the way up to Adam. And anyway, Augustine says he begins counting from Christ up to Adam himself, who was the first sinner, and who passed on to us the bond of sin, okay? He counted up to Adam, and so there are 77 generations, that is. From Christ up to Adam, and from Adam up to Christ. So then, if no generation was left out, there is no exemption of any trespass which ought not to be forgiven.
So that's the 70 times 7.
Yeah, that's how he came
cool.
up. And whether it's allegorical or whatever he's doing here, but it's a really neat thing to think about.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Because even in Hebrews, like it talks about the Christ sacrifice was a single sacrifice for all time. So from the end to the beginning. So
that's cool.
I love the way they just come up with this.
And so Jesus saying 70 times 7 is saying from Adam to now.
To now, forever.
That's cool.
Yeah, so.
That's cool.
But I like yours. I mean,
no, I like yours. Well, I did have a note on 24 because I pick out the weird things sometimes. But this was really cool. So it says this is when the guy owes the money to the king, and he's the gazillions of dollars, and the king is like, okay, I'll forgive it because he asked for mercy. And then he goes out and somebody owes him money, and he's like, give me this money, and he throws him in jail and blah blah blah. Well, so on 24 it says when he began to settle, one was brought to him who owed him 10,000 talents. Well, that already sounds like a lot of money.
It does.
So a talent, guess what a talent was?
How much was a talent?
In monetary unit, it was worth about 20 years of labor.
Whoa.
20 years wages.
Wow.
That is a lot. So he owed him 10,000 20 years.
Wow.
Isn't that wicked?
That's crazy.
So it's obviously this is an allegorical thing, like a parable type thing. He's saying that's how he just owed him $1 bazillion because that's how much. I mean, 1 talent was 20 years' wages.
That's amazing.
And so I just thought it was very interesting. And then on 28, that when that same servant goes out and wants to to get the other money back, the other guy that owes him money is only 100 denarii, and that's only about 3 months' wages. So that kind of puts it in perspective. That's nothing. And so I just thought that was it was interesting how he was so hard-hearted towards him, and it was nothing.
And like that's so amazing because that like the whole point of Christ paying our debt is he's paying a debt that we could not pay.
Yes.
So it's like that what you're saying.
Yes.
That infinite. It's something we couldn't pay.
Never.
And
then how many times do we hold something against somebody? I do it. I have. For something stupid.
Me too.
And then Jesus forgives me for everything that I can't even pay.
Yeah.
So that's pretty wild.
Yeah. So anyway,
I like this. I guess this chapter helps me see how to be a better person. So I like this. Reading this whole map book.
Yeah.
I really like it.
It's really cool. So
I did have a note on 34.
Bring it.
You got something too?
No, I just have it colored in.
Okay, cool.
I can't remember why I did that.
So on 34, in his anger, the master delivered him to the jailers so he could pay all his debts. We kind of just talked about this. But what's neat, though, is jailers, not executioners. So the king, so the guy who got the money forgiven, the debt forgiven, was like, woohoo, I'm free. Then he goes out and tries to get his servant to pay him nothing. And then, Mom says she loved the St. Augustine explanation. Thanks, Mom.
Oh, cool.
But so anyways, so the king finds out and throws him back in jail. But here's the cool part. So the king throws him in jail. He didn't kill him. He could have killed him, but he threw him in jail. And this pictures severe discipline, not final condemnation, all his debt. The original debt was unpayable, and the man was still without resources. So it seems unlikely that the servant was saddled once again with the same debt he had already been forgiven. Rather, what he now owed his master would be exacted in chastising by his master until he was willing to forgive others. So basically, he didn't get killed. He was put in jail to, kind of pay out his thing until he could forgive others. But what I was thinking about is we all do deserve death. And Jesus didn't do that. He died for us so we could learn how to forgive others and love people and love our brothers and sisters and stuff like that. So I just thought that was a cool little
really
connection.
Cool. And that the whole thing is it's just amazing that we're supposed to be a loving family.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean we're not supposed to be harping or beating up on each other. And we all have weaknesses. We all fail. We all fall down. But we're not supposed to take those things out in front of everybody and go, look what we did.
Right.
We're supposed to work with each other and help each other because we don't want a person we want people to have a good relationship with God and each other.
That's cool.
We're one big, huge family, man.
I like it. All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end. Tomorrow is Matthew 19, and we hope you have a great evening.
Yeah.
And hopefully we won't be in the closet tonight because it's supposed to rain some more, but I think it's only supposed to be rain and thunder, not tornadoes.
Oh, man. It's pretty stuffy in there.
It was pretty stuffy. 3 people plus 3 dogs.
Yes.
In like a space like this.
Yeah. And a stacked washer and dryer because it's so small.
True, because there was a washer and dryer in there too.
They were so small, it was stacked.
That's true. They're stackable. So, all right, guys. Well, we love you. Have a good evening.
We'll see you soon.
All right. Bye.